Shadows asleep amidst the trees. Bats all are swaying in the breeze. But when the soul lies anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags and wraiths. For your dolly Polly sleep has flown, don't dare let her tremble alone. For the witcher, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold, he comes, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe. It's all silent for the night. House turned in as daylight dies. But when the soul light launches wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags and wraiths, my dear darling.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Haunted Connections show. So I hope you're all well. We're bringing this to you from the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Hinckley, Leicester, and we've got a great show tonight, hopefully. I hope you're all going to join in. So tonight's topic is what ingredients go into making a good investigation for you.
That was a good job. That was going across then, isn't it?
Well, I was only looking at it.
I thought you were reading it.
I was. I need all the help I can get. So what ingredients make a good investigation for you? So we're interested to hearing all your thoughts, all your experiences. So pop them all in the comments, and we'll start.
Okay, we're slightly off topic. Nikki's sent us a message. This one's for you, Janine. Nikki says, I need some advice. I've been experiencing paranormal activities in my house and I'm getting scared.
Ooh.
So what advice would you give Nikki?
So the first rule of thumb, I suppose, would be to acknowledge them, in case it's family coming around you, trying to get your attention, trying to give you some help and guidance, or just being there for you. So if you acknowledge them and just talk to them, and if they're family and friends, once you've normally acknowledged them, it does sort of tend to die down quite a bit, because you now know that they're there and they're there around you. If it's anything else, it will then either continue or escalate, and that's then when you sort of probably need to move up to the next bit of advice. But for the first things first, I would say just call out and acknowledge them, and thank them for being around you, and just talk to them.
Yeah. And what if that doesn't have? What's the next stage? Do you think getting?
Well, if you feel that you get into the next stage, if you feel that it's any of the activities ramping up, or it's not, you're not it's not, it's not sort of dying down a bit, you can just literally ask them to leave. Tell them that they've not got permission to be in your home. Ask them to leave. And if it gets, if things start ramping up even more after that, then contact us, and we'll give you some more personalised advice, because it's such a general, vague thing. You need to sort of pinpoint it really to find out what's actually there. I don't know where you live. I don't know if you live local or if you live far away. But if you find those few things don't work, then message us and we'll see if we can help.
Okay, Amy's added her thoughts. Amy says, I'd write a diary stating time, date, time, what happened, who was present, and who was the activity centered around. There could be a pattern.
Yeah.
So that's more help for you. Okay then, so let's go back to what does make a good investigation. So let's start with you, Jane. We all start with you. I always throw it over. So to
Slide
you,
it
Jane,
straight over.
what makes a good investigation? What ingredients?
I think the people are obviously very important
Mhm.
because although you want a good laugh and you want to be able to trust the people around you,
Mm-hmm.
and also you still want to be able to get some work done but not take it too seriously. To make it, I mean, I always think an investigation is a great night out with your friends, and I just enjoy that anyway. And then if you get any activity, that's just a bonus. So,
Yeah. So please, if what add your comments. What you think are the ingredients as well, and you, Amy. What do you think? I think that's why we get such good activity because of our ingredients
yeah,
as a group.
yeah. As a team, we do work really well together, and everybody brings something slightly different to the table, which is good. And I like it when people, when we're having an experience, I like it when people actually share what they're experiencing.
Mm.
If it's a new person, they've never had an experience before, and they actually feel and see something like your Julie that time.
Yeah.
When she saw those lights and that, and it's just amazing to see people's faces sort of light up and try and make sense of what they're seeing.
Yeah, definitely. Ian says people and energy.
Yeah,
Definitely. Aaron says laughter and trust are my key ingredients.
yeah, and a bit of dirt. That's my dirtbag bird.
You should have heard them pair last night.
She's on my wavelength.
Oh God. Tina says a well-gelled team and the right intentions.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
Yeah. Because spirit do know when you're messing about, when you're taking the mick, that sort of thing. And if your intentions are good and you want to find the truth and you want to have a good experience, then they will help you.
Yeah. Okay. Biff says pizza, chips, onion rings, and a can of Vimto. Can't say gin as it's not allowed. Yeah, but the pizza's got to have pineapple on top. Amy says, I heard that, laugh out loud. It's definitely, if you're a newbie, like Jane says, if you're a newbie, it's important that you feel comfortable enough to speak out.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of newbies, or if you go on public events,
Yeah.
you're a bit nervous about saying, I've just got the name John in my head, because some people would think, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But we always say up here, it's important to say that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or, well, we had it last night, didn't we?
Yeah.
An experience that the guys never experienced before, but because they're in company that they know, he just.
Yeah, but I was just going to refer back to that because also one of the really good things for me, what makes a good night, is like one of the people last night, known him quite a long time, and he's never considered himself to be mediumistic or have the skills, but over the last few years, I've seen him sort of gradually see things and do things and experience things, and last night he sort of went to a whole new level of experiencing something.
He did, yeah.
And just seeing his face, because you can see people's minds trying to make sense and trying to sort of rationalize what they've seen. And that to me is a brilliant experience.
Yeah. Tina did say the right intentions. I think that is very, very important.
Yeah.
If you're out to, if you expect something really good to happen every single time, you are going to be disappointed. So that'll lower your energies. That will deflate you. So keep the comments coming. So I think I agree that laughter is important because she's supposed to be enjoyable. Most people do it as a hobby.
Yeah.
And what's the point of doing a hobby if you don't have a laugh and enjoy it?
Yeah. We can also spin this around.
Yeah.
What what do people find are bad ingredients for an investigation? You know, what are some of the things that you think can spoil an investigation?
Ego.
Yeah, and alcohol.
Main thing to me is ego. If you've got a medium or a team member who's got a big ego, to me that's going to ruin it. Because I think spirits do know, and I don't think the spirits want to work with egos.
They won't feed somebody's ego.
So just go and be yourselves and expect nothing, and then you're not going to be disappointed.
No.
So, any more comments? Keep the comments coming, otherwise we're going to rattle. Biff says, not that bothered if activity doesn't happen as long as good times with good people. Never regret anything that makes you smile or laugh.
Absolutely right.
Definitely. Yeah, so ego is a big no-no. You're yawning then, weren't you?
Sort of. Long day.
Long day. So what about location with hype? Do you think that helps with the ingredients?
I think you can dismiss the hype, can't you? Because if you go in with good intentions and you go in just seeking the truth and you do what you do, I think the hype on the building is irrelevant, really. Yeah, all it means is you're just probably a bit disappointed at the end of it because it's not lived up to its hype.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Oh no, no.
Stop it!
I've had a hectic day. So,
if we stay awake, we'll have another drink.
So keep your comments coming in, otherwise we're just going to rattle. No more comments. Come on, Jane, carry it through.
What experiences we had where things have gone really wrong, and that's probably because of people, haven't they? People. One of the things was people on mobile phones. When you're trying to get people involved and they just want to sit in the corner on their mobile phone, not really bothered.
I also think something, if you're doing public investigations, it's not for teams. If you're doing a public investigation, it's mainly women who are interested and bring their husbands along who haven't got no interest whatsoever. I think that's a bad thing to me. Don't bring your husbands along.
Leave them in the pub.
To me, if your partner, Wendy says we're all yawning. If your partner's or got no interest in the paranormal, my opinion is don't bring them along, because that just
puts dampeners on it.
Dampens everything, because I do believe the spirits know that they're not interested. So if they don't believe in him, why would they do something for them?
Yeah.
So what are your ingredients to making a good investigation? Do you think research is important?
I think it depends what your end goal is. So if you're into researching, if you want to find out more about, the location that you're in and that sort of thing, then yes, it all puts the pieces of jigsaws into the bigger picture, doesn't it? But if you just want to go on a ghost to find some sort of evidence, just hear the bangs, the taps, have a go on a Ouija board, that sort of thing, for a bit of a thrill, then I think it just depends what sort of results you want at the end of the night.
Yeah, we hear lots of people say they go to locations not wanting to know anything about the building.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't want to know anything about it when I go in.
I'm the other way on that. I would sooner go in. I know it's your job to sort of talk to them and find out who they are anyway. I can't do that. I would sooner know something about the building, because you're going into their homes. So if someone comes into my home, I'd like them to say, hello, Neil.
Yeah.
So I like to go and say, if there's a spirit called George there, to go and say, hello, George, will you come talk to me? which is
Yeah.
different the way you look at it,
Yeah.
because you're the
But
medium.
sometimes though they won't always come forward and give you name, because you won't go up and give your name to a complete stranger and engage in a conversation. You've got to feel at ease, haven't you? You've got to feel comfortable with that person, and that usually takes a little bit of time to get to know that person.
Okay, that's what Biff's comment up. Biff says, must admit I do like it if things are structured a bit more. Prefer that than this is your investigation and do what you want. Almost seems like a team organising doesn't know what to do. That's a valid point, isn't it?
Yeah, and I can see both sides of that. Because if you want that sort of structured evening, and you want to have a team sort of looking after you, moving you from room to room, and doing all the sort of calling out and stuff, then that's fine. But on the other side of that, sometimes you want to have longer in a room than just say 30 or 45 minutes, and you want to, because you're getting really good stuff in that room, and you want to stay in there, and you want to work at it a bit longer. I mean, sometimes when we were with the venue groups and that one, it was a case of, you've been here sort of 30 minutes, we've got to go and move on. And you're just sort of starting to get involved in things, and things are just starting to happen, and you just have to leave it and then go. So I can see both sides of that.
Yep. Ames says, I like to know so I know where to stick the camera. You can read that the wrong way.
Also on the back of that, so many people investigate differently, and if you've got a team that just investigate just like that, and they that's how they do it, but you want to go off and do something else because you've got different equipment and you investigate in a different way, I don't think there's any harm in going off and doing your own thing. But if you want to be with the teams, it's nice that that's available too.
I guess it all depends on how experienced you are as well.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because when we were Too Haunted, that was very structured, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That wasn't the guests' night. It was what we said. Well, what Mark said.
Yeah, and it'd be like you were looking after you're in this team, and you're in this team, and you're in this team, and off you'll go, and which we did.
Okay. Biff says, fair point, Jane. Been on events where it does seem to end in a room far too soon. Yeah, I think that's the problem with public events, because they've got a set time for each room. At the end of our public days, we stopped. So we went away from that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we said, like saying, Jane says, if we're getting loads of activity in the room, you don't want to leave, do you? Because that's what you come for.
Yeah, and that was one of the nicest things when we got here when we first started investigating here. It was absolutely fantastic that we could just sit and work for as long as we want. All night if we wanted to.
Not all night. So
But we used to stay till like 1, 2 in the morning, didn't we? In the early days.
In the early days, before I got too old.
Now we like to be back home with cocoa by 11.
I do like the Sunday afternoon events.
Yeah.
Back home by 6 p.m. Back home, have me tea. So, any more comments? Anybody? Tell us what you don't like about investigating as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well, one of the things I didn't like when we were in sort of groups and that is you never knew where you were really going to end up. So they never sort of said, well, make sure you bring a coat or something because we're going outside, or that sort of thing. So you think you're going to be inside, but actually, you're never really in a nice comfy room, are you? Sometimes you're up in a dusty attic or a damp cellar.
Yeah.
You're outside in the woods, so you can be there and everywhere. But I think the lack of information can make that more difficult. If you've got to bring your coat or come in some boots or whatever, it makes it much more enjoyable.
Yeah, okay, a few comments. Biff says, just seemed like when we went to Derby Jail, it seemed a free-for-all. However, best bit was listening to Richard Felix Could have listened to him all night, laugh out loud. I think Richard could talk for all night as well.
Yeah.
Richard does like talking, which is a good thing. Yeah, I don't think public events should be a free-for-all. I do think there should be some structure. Kerry Louise says you need the right energy, people you trust, and equipment. Positive mental attitude. Also having the freedom to explore the area. Sometimes it's good to know what you're walking into, but I prefer to experience things firsthand, so it's not subjective experience. Yep,
Yeah.
very true. Rolos says if you're having fun, you don't want to leave. Very true. Tina says our paranormal team is quite structured when doing investigations. We do a lot of experiments. We have a couple of mediums in our group, including myself, so love going in by myself and getting a feel and picking things up. Yep. I think the next comment from Bloss is about what she doesn't like. She doesn't like stairs. Willie says people that have same energies and looking for the same things I find helps. Yes, very true.
Yeah.
I think Wendy's talking from experience here. Wendy says, or in a cave, bring a torch would have been easier. And Biff says, I think keeping a group the same all evening can be detriment. First time at Warwick Castle, we didn't feel we trusted the other three in our group. Almost felt they were plants. Yeah, that's true as well. I do agree with that, Biff. You don't want to be with the same people. I don't think it's right. Keep being with the same people all night that you don't know. Because if your energies don't mingle, it's going to ruin the night for everybody.
Yeah, if you're not
and same as a team member.
If your energies are sort of bouncing off each other and they're not really working together, that can cause problems.
Yeah, so and it's good working with other people as well.
Yeah.
Even though we just work with ourselves. Facebook user, I don't know who you are, sorry. Going over hours and hours of cam footage and still images after the event I find tedious. Worth it though if you get something good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That used to do my head in, going through all the footage.
And we did catch some really good footage as well. I bet in your archives there's even more good stuff that we've captured.
Yeah, there's loads. Well, it said, especially with how me and Paul investigate, we have people that don't like how we work. Everyone is entitled to work their own way.
Yeah.
It's not for anyone else to say you're doing it right or wrong, to me.
Yeah.
Some people might not like what we do.
Yeah, or what we say.
Or what we say.
Like residual energy. Don't mention residual energy. I mentioned it once, but I think I'll go away with it.
So what's the... We thought about another subject for an article, didn't we? Oh, poltergeists.
Yes, we've never come across a poltergeist, and although people say they're a thing, I don't really believe they are. In fact, until I come across one, of course, and then I'll probably change my mind. But until I do, we've been in loads of places that are supposed to have poltergeists in them, and they've been quite active and things have moved and stuff, but it's never actually been a poltergeist.
Yeah. Facebook user is actually Izzy. So I know who you are now, Izzy. Thanks. I'm not sure why it's calling me Facebook user.
You have to give it permission, don't
Yeah,
you?
I don't know.
Show you.
Because we're going. I think because we're going through StreamYard. Yeah, I don't know. Nice to see you, Izzy.
Yeah, nice to hear from you.
And you did say about going through hours and hours of footage. Yeah, you used to do my head in. Problem is, your brain switches off after a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I wonder how many fantastic pieces of evidence people have captured, but your brain switched off because you've just sat through 4 hours of camera footage when nothing happened. And then
But do we actually switch off our brains in investigations because we have the tech? You've got a voice recorder, So I'll just leave that running, and I've got a video camera, so I'll just leave that running, and I don't really have to do anything. And I don't, and just sort of, then you tend to switch off because your equipment's doing that. So are you actually missing out on stuff because you're relying on your kitchen equipment to
I've not thought
do
about
it
that.
for you?
I've not thought about that.
I've thought about it a few times.
No, another article. Bloss says, "Feel afraid, man. We are coming soon."
Ooh. Be nice to see you, Bloss.
Izzy says, "Nice to finally have the time to catch a live from you guys again. Miss you all. Thanks very much. Please keep the comments coming because we're just going to rattle on otherwise."
Yeah, we're full of useless information.
Well, some of us are. I won't say which ones. Amy says, "Miss you, Bloss. If you come in a couple of weeks, Bloss, Amy will make you a lovely cup of tea because she's on holiday in 2 weeks."
Yeah.
So, Willie says, "I love the investigation we do for guests with GHT as all the team members seem to be on the same wavelength, whether they are mediums or techies. So I would say communication is majorly important and having trust in each other." And yeah, I think trust is vital, obviously, because if you don't trust somebody, you could have anything happen, but you won't believe it because you don't trust them.
Yeah.
No, for example, the Ouija boards.
When you don't believe somebody as such like that, you're also then sending out sort of negative vibes.
Yeah.
And that can have an impact.
Plus, you see, and you do get I get immediate reaction to people, and I think I don't like you.
Yeah.
I do. I admit it. Perhaps I shouldn't, but you do get the vibe, don't you?
Yeah.
And if you on a public event, if you're on a public event and you are with 3 other people and you think I don't like them, you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to put the effort in. You're not going to get any rewards, are you?
No.
Okay, and Net says, "I think the poltergeist is more tied to young people as they seem to always pop up where the young people are in the houses." And Bloss says, "I don't like teas." Okay, then you can have coffee. Izzy says, "I've never experienced a poltergeist either. It's always been spirit, but I suppose the Western meaning has been warped. Isn't the translation simply noisy spirit?"
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
it's just a German
it's
word,
just
isn't it?
With the paranormal, I suppose in every field, people like to label things.
Yeah, they do.
And
that's another bad ingredient.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
Everything's a demon, everything's bad angel, and people who say that everything's negative, dark, demonic, and then you get the other side, people who are like my personal stalker, who's all God and angels and yeah, there you go.
Okay, I've got 2 Facebook users now. I'm getting confused. Experience plenty of those. Poltergeists tend to be noisy spirit or manifestations in my experience, but they are rare too. Bloss says, "Don't trust you, but trust Jane." Now, anyone who knows me and Bloss, we are good mates. Patrick, Patricia, Joel Friedman is Bloss. We are good mates. Even if she says we're not, we are. Wendy says, "Instinct." Poor Willie's got to go back to work.
Oh.
Are
you just on your tea break, Willie?
just skiving probably. Biff says, to qualify my comment about structure, I think it's money related. Come to the centre and not paid relatively that much. I'm fine doing my own thing, but if I've paid £75 per person, I expect more.
Yeah, £75
This-
a person.
This
that's a lot.
this is true. If you pay, I agree with you there. Biff. If you pay a lot of money, you expect more
Bloody
from
top
the
service,
you
I
expect
want
more from the team. I get that. If you pay £25, you think, yeah, they're going to let me loose a
I
bit
want
more.
a flipping butler, barista, and a handmaiden for that.
And I said, we had trouble in our house when I was growing up for a while, but as we got older, it stopped. My sister left the house because she said she was thrown about. And Facebook user says, 100% agree, demons are super rare too. Amy says, me too, Bloss. I think that's about, she doesn't trust me, but she trusts you. That's docking your wages, Miss Slaney. Or Miss Slaney.
Bzz,
Ms.
bzz.
So, what would you expect from a poltergeist then?
Well, I'd be expecting doors opening and shutting, not just once, but I'd want some real repetitive activity. Doors opening and shutting, drawers opening and shutting, things like that. Things like sort of, I want the works, things thrown across the room, proper things.
Yeah, but do you think the people have this fear on poltergeist because of the film?
Oh, possibly. Yeah.
Because we have stuff thrown about, we have doors opened,
Yeah.
but that's just by the spirits, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, I do think it's a label. Bloss says, miss you, Biff and Mrs. Biff.
Yeah, we do. Although we've seen Mr. Biff this week.
We did. Teen and Mrs. Biff.
Oh yes, later on, yeah, and Little Biff.
He's not so little though, is he? Teen energy tends to be angsty and repressive. It can manifest poltergeist energy and attract spirit. Ames says, joking pops, I ain't had last week's wages yet.
10 biscuits, not from beer.
You can have 2 peanuts this week. Being generous. Biff says, oh, thanks, Bloss. Ames says, poltergeist is a German name for noisy spirit. So does that mean any noisy spirit is a poltergeist?
No, I would say that any suspected poltergeist is just spirit. It's not really a separate sort of thing.
Why is it given its own name?
Because I suppose they want to fancy it up a bit and make it more scary and
It's because the
sell
Hollywood.
more
I think
films
it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
I do. Perhaps we ought to, because we have things moved here, we have noisy spirits, we ought to call it Poltergeist Museum.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I was talking to somebody the other day and they were talking about their experiences and how some of the things that they've looked at go back to the Warrens, and they were talking about how some of the concepts for the horror films are true, and which is fine, but when I did suggest to him that Balak was only a little, he's only a little boy with wings, little cherub type thing, he didn't quite know what to believe. He's not a nun with black eyes with a mascara problem.
Okay, Biff says, Mrs. Biff says she wants her dream to come true and be dragged across the doll room floor. So do we, as long as we got the camera on.
Yeah.
So you, Mrs. Biff, can be the volunteer for that one. When we got the new CCTV cameras and we're streaming live Then we can have Anna dragging you across the floor
Yeah, on a little bicycle.
with you behind it.
That'd be, yeah. I think Mrs. Bifford being there on her own. We'd be out the front door.
We'll be out on the front. We'll be out the front watching it on the phones.
Yeah.
Okay. Poltergeist manifestation is psychokinetic energy from the teen or young adult, not the poltergeist, but can behave similarly. Wendy says maybe it's telepathy. And Amy says, I'm waiting for Hannah to drag Neil about.
She already kicked in.
Look, I've had an offer, Anna. She might be going.
No.
No, she's not. Biff says, as long as she doesn't drop the candle. Oh, no. No, she won't be allowed to have a candle. She needs to give us some warning so we can have lots of cameras on her.
Yeah.
And it says, laugh out loud from a safe distance. Yep. We'll be in the coffee shop over the road. Biff says, no.
We're halfway up Castle Street watching from a distance.
Because with the new system, I'll be able to watch it on my phone. So I'll have a crowd of people around me. I'll charge them. What is this woman being dragged across the floor by a doll? Be good though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
It would be good. So, come on, Jane. What should we say now? What should we talk about now?
Well, I'm really quite interested in people's views on these sort of things. Has anybody sort of come across some sort of spirit that they really didn't like that spoilt the night for them? Was it just a spirit that spoilt your night?
Have you on an investigation or a public event? We all know I have.
No, I think the only spirit that would spoil it is the alcohol, isn't it? When people, we had a few guests, didn't we? I'm not talking about Rosie.
Well, I was just going to say your daughter.
I'm not talking about Rosie, but a couple of times on the events when we were doing them for the public and that, a few people turned up after having a drink, didn't they? And it just make it really difficult.
Yeah. I think Amy and Aunt did the other few weeks ago as well, didn't they? Yeah. So have you ever done an investigation where you were scared? Or when you thought you were out your depth?
Yeah, I mean, that night at Dudley Castle, that first night when everything was kicking off and it were all going crazy, yeah, that was, I kept asking myself then, am I out my depth here? Am I out my depth?
What the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
And that was
to Dudley Castle, they said. It would be fun, they said.
And that was a public event as well, weren't it?
People were being, what's that?
Wixton
House. People were being affected all night. There were lots of different things. People were scratched, and they were, even though they hadn't got any sort of medium skills, they were taking on all these feelings, weren't they? And wailing and crying and
people being dropped down the stairs.
That was a crazy night, but it was good.
Biff says the only thing that spoils it for me, and it's happened, is someone who is obsessed with it being a certain spirit and details the investigation to fit their agenda.
Yes.
Have you come across that?
Yes. Jane? Where people are adamant that it's what they're picking up is a certain spirit, and you can suggest other things, and but also when people try to make things fit, that doesn't go well either. When things are, say, coming up on the talking boxes, and then they make the words fit to whatever they're thinking or whatever they're seeing or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's not good.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times, haven't
Yeah.
we? Over
And
the
you got to
years.
stay open-minded. But that's one of the biggest no-nos for me. Just don't twist things around to make them fit.
Yeah. Amy says Neil being dropped down the stairs.
Yeah.
Bloss says missed the old tea room where we could all have a good natter. Yeah, but we got chairs in the shop, Bloss. We can have a natter downstairs.
We have some good natters downstairs. And nutters. Natters and
we have
nutters.
plenty of nutters. I admit it's not the same as it used to be, but we did have to progress. And it says only at home when I slept downstairs could not move because it felt like a weight was keeping me where I was. Ran to open the door to get out, but the doors would not open. That was terrifying, and it stuck with me for years.
Yeah.
I think it would me. My biggest fear in all this is waking up in the middle of the night and having someone standing at the bottom of my bed.
Yeah. Julie's seen it, hasn't she?
Julie's had that. That's before we opened the centre when the stuff was in the carport. Julie woke up one night and there's someone standing at the bottom of the bed, and she says, "Find somewhere else." Not me. Not me, but find somewhere else for the collection. So yeah, I don't.
It was only a little collection then, wasn't it?
I dread that.
Can you imagine if you had to move out? Somewhere else, all the stuff you got.
No,
A huge undertaking.
no, I couldn't. Biff says, "Bloss, if you need a lift up the centre, just ask."
Ah.
Thanks, Biff. There you go, Bloss. Whenever Biff comes up, just ask him and he'll give you a lift. I'm sure Biff will carry you up the stairs as well. Amy says, "Bet don't miss the stairs." No, she doesn't. No, you don't like stairs, do you, Bloss? So yeah, weeks in the house. That was an awful place, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we kept going back, didn't we? We went a couple of times.
I went twice. The second time was not so good, was it? I wasn't affected or anything.
No, that one night was just absolutely crazy, and that night at Dudley Castle as well. You know, when the medium who's actually leading the whole group and all the guests and all the team and everything, when he gets affected and started going a bit doolally, that's
He did, didn't he?
Oh dear.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good fun.
Even at weeks in the house, it was Jane Whitelight deal. Jane.
Yeah, Jane.
Take
Go
these
White
out.
Light him. Jane White Light him. Jane, go White Light her.
If
Jane,
you
look after her.
if you all watched when most years and years and years ago, when Most Haunted went to Pendle Hill for the live
Yeah.
in that cottage, Tyndale Farm, I think it was, when everyone was being affected one at a time. That's how Dudley Castle was that night, and Weeks in the House was for us.
Yeah.
But we're going back to Dudley Castle soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
In May. We are going. We've still got a few tickets left for the May event. If anyone wants to join us, we've got lots of our members coming, which is nice, and lots of our regulars coming.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a good night. May and September we're going there. Shall we talk about the current state of affairs in public investigations now?
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah, because
Open it up.
We'll change the subject like we always do. Does everyone think the current state of the world, probably, or of the country, is that an effect on public events? Because we at the centre have had 7 dates cancelled by public teams this year. I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm not saying it's our fault. Do you think with COVID and the prices going up and everything, is that going to have a massive effect on public events? Put them in the chat and we'll talk. We've got 15 minutes left.
Yeah, I think it will have a bit of an impact on people when all your bills are going up and all your, the fuel and the cost of living is rising like it is doing. people are still trying to claw back and get back on their feet after COVID,
Yeah.
and then all this is happening. It's some of the luxuries are going to have to go, and I think the ticket sales in with the venue groups is going to have he's going to feel the pinch in some places.
Yeah. Of course, ghost hunting is a luxury. Dudley Castle sounds amazing. Love your place in Inkley. It's amazing. Thank you. Maybe people are still scared of COVID. Yes, they're definitely still scared of COVID. Bloss says it's terrifying. Ames says the cost of living has gone up and petrol, etc. I think it's going to have a massive effect. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is already having a big impact on things. As we know, we're experiencing it. The cancellations.
Yeah. But it's only the venue groups, isn't it? All the normal teams.
It tends to be the venue. Yeah, it is the venue, the public events companies. And I think they're going to have a bit of a rough ride for a bit longer yet. The public events companies, which is a shame. Hopefully not, but we'll see. Biff says, I'm more inclined to try and attend more things at the centre as it's not so much financial hit if you can't attend, such as COVID. Yeah, we are thinking and making plans to overcome it, because obviously we do need the income of the team to come in, but we are making plans. And watch this space. We are making a big push on the membership. The VIP membership, it's called now.
Yeah, it's had a upgrade.
It's had an upgrade. It is at the minute. It's still only £25 for life, but we're going to push that. The CCTV system is going to be installed professionally. It's a good quality system, not like the old rubbishy system, really, wasn't it?
No, it was all right at the time.
It served its purpose.
It weren't rubbish. It was just the best that we had at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And now it's time to just improve it and upgrade it a bit.
Ames says, plus wages don't seem to be in line with the cost of living. No, they're not. Everyone's feeling pinched, definitely. Bloss says, if my left-hand side worked, I would be fine.
Oh.
Donna says, as well as the cost of living rise, there are a few scammers selling tickets, which has a knock-on effect with smaller teams, with the public not trusting them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Biff says, still waiting for Elvira, Mistress of the Darkness, on film night.
Oh yeah.
We were actually talking about the film night last night or the night before, weren't we?
Yeah.
They are coming. That's one of the options to keep the finances coming into the centre. We are going to be doing the film nights.
Yeah, and I think with COVID and the centre being shut for a while, there were so many teams that wanted to get in and were putting it on hold and everything else like that. And you opened up the diary, didn't you, Friday, Saturdays and Sundays. And now with these few cancellations on these dates, it's going to give us the opportunity to perhaps fill those with the film nights and the some of the talk nights.
Yes, we're going to do talk nights. We will probably be doing more public events for ourselves, because we can keep the prices lower than the public events companies.
Yeah.
So look out for that. Obviously, we are pushing the membership, because that's a big plus for us as well. So we're going to try and offer as much as we possibly can to the members. We have not done anything for the members for quite a while, but that's going to come as well. But a lot of the teams are struggling.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. So, any more comments? So yeah, if you're not a member of HAPRC, please consider joining.
things are going to get very exciting very soon. Not that they're not exciting already, but things are going to get sort of ramped up a little bit.
Yes, things are really getting exciting. Biff says, think you need to ask for balance of payment 7 days before the event, so at least you can organise something else to still get the income. Yeah, Biff, that has been suggested to me by Julie and all the others.
Yeah, the time of sometimes when you know the teams and that, it's so easy, particularly for Neil, to be Mr. Nice Guy and
No more Mr. Nice Guy. No, I can't change that, can I?
No. And you do get very lenient and that with some people, and then they tend to take advantage, don't they? So.
Bloss says, love the seance nights. Yeah, we will bring them back as well.
Yeah, and hopefully with some of them seance nights, we have discussed this in the past, and we can perhaps do them on the ground floor in the shop, so you won't have to go up any stairs.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
So we got some ideas. Okay, Wendy says, I'll join up when my daughter comes with me. Oh, thank you, Wendy. Yeah, like I said, the cameras will be installed within the next 2 weeks. And then we'll be streaming to the members, exclusively to the members.
24/7, isn't it?
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days, sitting up for hours and hours just watching nothing. Just perhaps see the odd orb flying by.
Yeah, the good thing about these new cameras, though, they've all got audio on, which is going to be good. And also, if something moves, they've all got motion sensors on. So if something does move and the camera picks it up, I'll get sent a message on my phone.
Fab.
I just hope they don't play up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I might have to stir them up a bit.
Bloss says, hope Julie's fine. Yeah, Julie's fine. Thank you, Bloss. Obviously, she misses you. Biff says, me and Mrs. Biff love the sounds night, so definitely up for more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jane says, we can start doing the sounds nights in the shop, so it's on the ground floor, so it's easy for everybody. Wendy says no stairs would be good, so it sounds like doing sounds nights on the ground floor in the shop is quite popular.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can get some of them booked in. So with the sounds nights, do you like the traditional sounds nights, or do you want some equipment as well? What do you?
I think it. Well, in the past we've just put all sorts of things on the table, haven't we? To just to see, to see what response we can get. So I think anything's.
I'm grinning because I've just read Bloss's comment. Bloss says, think your hair's getting thinner. It is. It's awful. I'm going to be bald very soon on top. Look how thin it is.
Mine's not too bad either.
I'm just getting old, Bloss. That's the problem. It's all the stress of this place.
Stress. Last night he had a great night. Every time he walked by, he was just grinning from it. Every time you see his little face, it lit up.
At last.
Yeah, we did
have a good night, and we're not saying what it is yet. That will come very soon. But we started a very exciting project last night.
Yeah.
And we're going to finish it Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, Richard says, with all the price hikes, my team is reliant on the very little or no cost locations. It's fuel that cripples us. Yeah, I think that's the problem we've got at the minute. And there's no sign of fuel going down at all, is there?
No, and it's not that there's a shortage. It's just people. I don't know whether it's the oil companies just being greedy, or whether they're just the media is just blowing it all out of
90p per litre goes to the government.
Yeah,
that's what I read. I can't say that's fact. That's what I read.
Well,
a lot of it goes to the government.
Somehow, but...
So So is because of these price hikes on everything, is it more important for places like us to do more live feed investigations for you guys to watch? Is
Yeah.
that sort of a little bit of a fix for the paranormal? Is that what people want? Janet says, we look forward to conducting our investigation there in December. No cancellation from Union Jack. Thanks very much, Janet. Government taxes, the actual petrol stations make a few pence per litre. Yeah, it's the VAT and the fuel duty. Why they got fuel duty as well as VAT? It doesn't make sense. So let's face it, the government don't give two hoots what the petrol goes up because they probably don't even pay for their petrol, or they claim it back from us. So they're not bothered, and people with money ain't bothered because they've got plenty of money to pay for it anyway. Wendy says, yes, please, especially being mainly housebound. That's for more live feeds.
Yeah, we could probably go back to that again, doing a few more live feeds in the week. Now things are starting to settle down a bit.
Annette says, yes, because surely no lockdown, but no one can afford to go anywhere. Yeah. So please tell us. We've only got 4 minutes. It's the show goes really slow at the start, but then all of a sudden it's near the end. So please tell us if you'd like us to do more live feeds. Please tell us because we're quite prepared to do a live feed. You know, if a team cancels on a Saturday night, and Amy and Ant will be free, but Amy and Ant work for Ghost Hunter Tours. So if they're free, if you want us to do a live feed from up here, we can do that. You know,
yeah. We've already brought back the abandonment, haven't we?
Yeah, we brought back the abandonment on Thursdays. But if you want to see us investigate more, that's not an issue. That's not a problem. Annette says would love more live feeds. So yeah, so is investigating the rooms? I don't think we need more live feeds where we're talking, because we do the podcast, we do Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think live feeds will work for you, and combined with the paranormal groups, it would help with their ticket sales too. Yeah. But would you get bored of them though? Tell me what you think. Would you, if we're doing a couple of live feed investigations a month, are you going to get bored?
Well, this place is quite unique anyway, isn't it? And no two nights very usually. So we've already got the demon files going, haven't we? We've got the abandonment going. You know, maybe we can perhaps look at doing a couple more shows somewhere along the line there. If you know, an investigation, you know, perhaps some sort of investigation special, and then perhaps something with the items.
Janet says, yes, please. We'll be joining up my membership real soon. Thank you, Janet. Now we can do seances live feeds to make them different. If the cost is sensible and because it's unique, you would get subscribers. Okay, thank you very much. Facebook user, I don't know if that's Izzy or somebody else. Wendy said never boring. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Wendy. So yeah, it looks like
we might be busy.
looks like the viewers have spoken, which is great, which is what we want.
Well, would people, just a quick one, would people
Well, quickie.
Just a quick one. If it wasn't a live feed, if it was a recorded show, if say we did it in the day when we were sort of here at the shop anyway, if we did it in the day, would people mind if it was a recording and then we let it just sort of run, or do you actually want it live?
Or we could do both, couldn't we?
Yeah, I'm just, you know, if we could get more shows, but there's only so many nights in the week, isn't there? And if we did more shows, you know, if we could perhaps do something in the day and then let it just play it.
Yeah, we could record it in the daytime, and release it as live, would you be happy with that, or as
Yeah.
well? It's going to be different. Richard says live feeds is fantastic.
Yeah. But we'll have a think about that. We'll have a think over the next week or so, and we'll come up with some ideas, and we'll have a think about what we're going to do and how we can do it and fit it in. Because there's only 7 nights in the week, and most of them are already booked up, aren't they?
Okay, when Wendy says that would be good recorded.
Yeah.
And Annette says, yes, that would be good. Bloss says, sounds good, Jane. So yes, like Jane says, we can do in the daytime. We can record in the daytime, no problem. Okay, that's worth thinking about. So okay, it's 9 o'clock. So we've just got to say thanks very much for watching it again. Thanks for letting us into your homes. That TV show used to say that, didn't they? I can't remember what it was. It's okay. I'm going. I want my tea now. I'm getting hungry.
Haven't you been fed yet?
No.
Double blimey.
No. Thanks for all your comments. We will think about the live feeds and the recorded as live feeds and the sounds live feeds and whatever we can think of. If you've got excuse me, if you've got any suggestions for live feeds or recorded ones, let us know.
Yeah, whatever the subject, whatever the topic, if you want us to have a look at it, send it in, and we'll have a look at it and we'll see what we can do.
So we will see you all very soon. Take care. Stay safe.
Bye for now.
Was asleep.